I'd like to invite to the stage now Badr Al-Olama, head of the GMIS Organising Committee, and Declan Curry, who will be our moderator for this session.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. Nadir, thank you so much. Has she done a magnificent job moderating this session over the last 3 days? Let's give Nadir a round of applause to say thank you and well done. And Badr Al-Olama, it's great to have this opportunity to hear from you. You're head of the organising committee of GMIS. We've had a magnificent few days. First of all, my congratulations to you and to your team for the success of the event.
Actually, the congratulations should go to my wonderful team who have really made this possible to give everyone a positive experience about what you've seen over the past 3 days. So if I can ask for one thing from the audience is to give every individual on my team a big hand, please. Thank you.
And that is well-deserved praise. They have worked incredibly hard behind the scenes. What are your highlights? What are your impressions of the last 3 days?
I mean, I wish I could spend more time in some of the sessions. There were some very exciting sessions that were going on, but I took away a few very important statements that were made during the course of the 3 days, and I wanted to share some of those sort of key takeaways with the audience. We heard in the opening plenary with President Vladimir Putin, he spoke about introducing new technologies that would be less resource intensive but more eco-friendly. And that basically meant that we should be inspired by nature, by nature to ensure that clean air, water, food, and quality of life for billions of people can be sustained over time. We heard His Excellency Suhail Mazrou'i, our co-chair, speak about being prepared for the fourth industrial revolution and preparing our students for the fourth industrial revolution. And this was complemented by His Excellency Hussein Al-Hammadi, our UAE Minister for Education, who said that future skilling is a must and that we need to update our educational policies and we need to allocate resources accordingly. Our other co-chair, His Excellency Leong, spoke about education, communication, the sharing of experience and best practice is so important to be flown from developed countries into developing countries. This is the only way that we can ensure global prosperity for all. Minister Mantarov spoke about common sense prevailing, that by introducing protectionism measures and unfair competition, the ultimate victim in such practices is the consumer. And this is why we need common sense to prevail so that we could have more trade between countries without imposing any unfair competition practices. His Excellency Khaldoon Al-Mubarak, our chairman of the advisory board, spoke about AI coming very fast, disrupting companies and disrupting organizations in the next 10 years, most of them in the next 5 years. I'm quoting him on this. And the big statement that he made out there is the early adopters are the ones that are going to come out as the winners in the short term. And I'd like to point out one of the most important sessions that I did attend, which was on the role of women in manufacturing. And we had the managing director of UNIDO, Fatou Haidara, who spoke about women participation being extremely vital in the manufacturing sector. And she made a reference to a data point, which I thought was super important as well. If the gender gap is closed between men and women, then we would see that the world GDP would be boosted by another $10 to $17 trillion. And I think these key statements were key takeaways that I felt were so important that we could continue and ensure that we follow through some of these statements, encourage more AI adoption, encourage more the updating of educational policies, making sure that we can bridge the gender gap, and hopefully, get inspired by nature to ensure that clean air, water, food, and quality of life can be sustained for the billions of people around the world.
A very wide-ranging agenda there, all focused on the key objectives of the summit, but setting out a fairly significant number of challenges for industry in the years ahead. And that must be part of the lasting legacy of this event, that these issues have been discussed, that solutions have been discussed. We now have a roadmap for the future. What is your thought on the legacy and the impact that this event will have?
That's a very good question, Declan. I mean, when I think about when we started planning for GMIS 2019 and we came up with a theme and we worked with our counterparts in the Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade about setting it off as nature-inspired technologies. And after listening to President Putin speak about having technologies that are less resource-intensive and more eco-friendly, to me, that is a call for action. And again, it gives me a tremendous amount of honor to announce that GMIS will be launching a new initiative. This new initiative will address a call for papers to invite all our academic network to put in papers regarding nature-inspired technology that can ensure that it is less resource-intensive, more eco-friendly. We will take those call for papers and work with the Skolkovo Foundation and other institutes here in Russia to come up with startups, and we will work with the Ministry of Industry and Trade to take those startups and integrate them into industry. This is our new initiative. And this is the legacy we will leave with us here in the Russian Federation.
Which ensures that the legacy continues beyond this event. And that's an important point, that as well as our discussions, as well as our deliberations, that we then go from this session and continue to think about these issues and continue to act on them.
It is extremely important that the Global Manufacturing and Industrialization Summit is about outcomes. We want to drive outcomes, and we invite the rest of the world to work with us to drive these outcomes.
Look forward for us to the next stage in terms of GMIS events, and that is Hanover, coupled with the trade fair, of course, in 2020. And that's another significant opportunity to reshape the future of industrialization.
Absolutely. Hanover Messe is the largest industrial fair in the world. And by having GMIS at the Hanover Messe, we are going to be talking about all the different technologies that are disrupting the manufacturing sector. And we look forward to our participation in Hanover. And we invite all of you and all of your colleagues that are working in the manufacturing sector or the technological sector or the academia or in government to join us in April 20 and 21 next year to be part of GMIS 2020.
Badr Al-Umar, again, my congratulations on this successful event. Thank you very much for this opportunity to learn from the best in global industry. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
And we now look forward with great excitement and great anticipation to GMIS 2020, taking place, as we've said, in Hanover in Germany. Please welcome to represent the federal government of Germany, General Consul Dr. Stefan Kell.
Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be part of this closing session of GMIS 2019. First, let me congratulate the city of Yekaterinburg and the Russian government for having hosted this most important event in this newly built, splendid conference hall. You really did a wonderful job. Yeah, you can be glad. A proof of the relevance of the topics you discussed over the last 3 days was the fact that President Putin opened up this conference. And the speech was, like I found, quite remarkable. He centered on environmental protection and on eco-friendly technology for the future. And that I found quite remarkable. Let me also congratulate UNIDO and the United Arab Emirates for initiating this most important GMIS process. Ich komme ja so auch bleibt. And it is my special pleasure, and reference was made now twice by you, Mr. Badr al-Olama, and by the Deputy Secretary General of UNIDO, that I'm most happy to announce that next year, the Hanover Trade Fair and Germany will host this most important event in April 2020. Not 2021, but 2020 in April. And we are looking forward to seeing you all next year in Hanover. And I say, spasiba bolshoi, das Trečiv Ganovere.
Until we see you again in Germany and in Hanover. Thanks a lot, and until we see you again.
These gentlemen are joining me on stage for the official picture. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here at GMIS 2019, and we look forward to seeing you at GMIS 2020 in Hanover, in Germany. Thank you.